Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the mid-July love reading for the sign of Cancer. Alright, we're going to get right into it, Cancer, and get your 2 Angel Oracle cards out. If you are a regular or a subscriber, thank you so much and welcome back. If you just landed here because you've been surfing the web and you just came across this video, welcome to my channel. You're welcome here as well. So the drill is, middle of the month, we try to take a look at what's going on in your love life. There's the monthly reading up, but sometimes we'd like to check in and see. This message may resonate with those of you who resonated with the monthly reading, or it may be an altogether different message, right? We'll find out in just a minute. Let's get your 2 cards out, Cancer. Alright, your first card out, Cancer, is codependency. Interesting. And religious factors. Wow. Bottom of the deck, you have passion. Alright, so there's passion involved. Alright. So, codependency and religious factors. This could mean a lot of different things, right? It could do with family, right? There could be influences from your family. Codependency also can mean a lot. You know, you can be codependent for a lot of reasons. Sometimes they're toxic, sometimes they're not. Sometimes codependency is just a way of living for right now, right? Perhaps if you're taking care of someone who can't take care of themselves, and in return they provide for you. So there's a lot of different ways this could factor out. So let's get right into your reading. I'm going to pull out your 9 cards from the traditional Rider-Waite deck. I like to say Rider-Waite-Smith deck, right? Show me what's going on for our lovely Cancers. Make this a clear message for any Cancers. Stop by, regular subscribers, or people just surfing the web. Anybody come across this video, we hope to be able to have a clear message that resonates for them in some way and gives them some clarity into the relationships in their lives right now. All right, show me what's going on mid-July 2019 for Cancer. I've already been shuffling and meditating quite some time before I start videoing, so we can get right into it, Cancers. First card out is 6 of Swords. Wow. So moving towards harmony. 10 of Swords. Yeah. And there's the person. Yeah, there you go. There's the religious factor. King of Wands. Interesting. You have the Hanged Man. So you're waking up. And you've got the 8 of Cups, deciding to move away from codependency, right? That's at the center of the reading. You have the Emperor, another strong individual. 4. Ace of Wands is inspiration coming in. Ace of Cups, new love coming in. And King of Pentacles, we have a row of kings. Interesting. Really. And there's the other Ace of Swords. Wow. What a beautiful reading, Cancers. All right, then. Yes, of course, there's a lot of passion. When you have 3 kings in the reading, you have 3 aces in the reading, right? So we're talking about major beginnings, new beginnings, changes, right? Ace of Wands talks about inspiration coming in, new ideas coming in, a victory, right? Communication, right? The essence of communication, when communication works at its highest level, you know, to benefit all. It's clear, it's cutting through any nonsense, right? Your ideas come to you in a crystal clear fashion, right? You can formulate them. Your words are just rolling off your tongue. You're able to communicate your ideas, right? Beautiful, beautiful energy. 2 more aces down here. So new passion as well in terms of Ace of Wands can be a new project, a new endeavor, you know, a new part of your life that is imbued with fire energy. And then Ace of Cups down here, a new love. But let's start right at the top, okay? We've got Six of Swords. So you're coming out of codependency, right? You're coming away from a period of turmoil, you know, discord. Sixes are sixes. We talk about a decision that's being made to seek harmony in all things, to make your life a journey always towards harmony. Part of that is making the conscientious decision to leave negativity behind, to leave toxicity behind, turmoil, discord, anything that isn't harmonious for you. You're turning your back on it and you're leaving it behind. You're on the boat. You're following your feelings, your true feelings. Hence, it's a boat, right? We talk about going to the other side, the other shore. It has so many meanings in terms of theology and mysticism. But in this, you know, he's rowing across the river of his true feelings, the feelings, the emotions that he has that he wants to, the good emotions he wants to maintain. Look how serene the water is, right? So there's a calm here, there's a calm, there's a steadiness in your heart, there's a steadiness. You want to maintain that calm, you want to maintain that sense of grace, sense of harmony, and so you do what you can to move towards that in all things. You're certainly leaving a difficult situation behind, Cancer, because this is Ten of Swords. It's the end of a very long, difficult battle. Could be certainly codependency, could be that you have quit addiction, right? You finally killed that monkey that was on your back. You may be clean now for some significant amount of time. The addiction could be to anything: drugs, drinking, shopping, sex, bad relationships, whatever the addiction was. It could have been quite severe, right? Could have been an addiction to, certainly now that we talk about a love relationship and a love reading, this could certainly be for those of you who are coming out of a very toxic relationship where there was indeed a lot of codependency, right? But you have religious factors here. I almost wonder if some of you haven't found a new sense of spirituality, and that is what allowed you to come out of this. You're a whole new person now. A whole new person. You have Hanged Man energy here at the bottom underneath of that Six of Swords. The Hanged Man comes in when we wake up and when we are already turning on and realizing, right? His head is already glowing. It isn't dim. So the Hanged Man comes in when we already know it's time to move, time to change, right? Inspiration is coming in. And so this is it, right? It's time now. It's time for you to completely come out of what was a kind of a real, like, I want to say, a habitual way of living, right? A habit. Right? So the Ten of Swords talks about overcoming that addiction that puts you in a certain environment, a certain way of living. Now when the Hanged Man comes in, it talks about breaking free from all of the habitual kind of sides to that habit. You know, sometimes you can kick a dependency, but you still have a habit of doing certain things that's associated with that dependency. And so now you have to kick those habits too. Right? It could be like the habit of going to a certain area via certain means of transit. It's just, there are these little habitual things that are associated, and those things may not necessarily, you may not necessarily have gotten rid of those things simply because you've conquered the monkey that was on your back when it comes to the actual heart of the addiction, right? There is a King of Wands here, so someone is in your life who is very strong, very, very, this person is very passionate, very intense, very wise. You look up to them. I believe they serve as a kind of spiritual teacher to you. All right. And I believe that's why religious factors has come in as a card for the romance oracle. See, because this individual, whoever this may be, now this could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a person you work with, it could be a counselor, right? It could be a counselor that you in particular really look up to because this particular person has really worked with you. this particular person, whoever this is, and it's not gender specific, right? None of my readings are necessarily, when I do feel it's a gender specific thing, I will tell you, of course. This could be a male or a female, but it's the fact they're at the top of their kind of field at what they do. They're one of the smartest people you've ever met, one of the wisest people. They're very compassionate, but they're also very, very fiery, right? They're demanding. They are demanding of you. They require you to step to the plate. They make you be more than you think you could be, right? They believe in you. They have confidence in you. That's the flip side. You know, when people challenge us, it can be difficult. But the other side of that coin is people challenge us because they believe we can do it. And so that, if you can get into that energy and understand it for what it is, there's a level of self-confidence and support that comes from it. And you value this person very, very much. Right? Now, it could be that as a result of all of this work that you've done, and by the way, if this resonates with you, Cancer, you have a lot to be proud of, because I feel like this was a very, very long road for you, and I can even feel the emotion, right? I mean, I can physically feel the emotion here, that this was very, very hard for you, and it took a lot, right? But this person is here, you care about them, and they care about you, and I believe that they have probably helped you find a certain sense of spirituality and strength. And so now this is the final piece of the puzzle where you're starting to wake up and realize, now it's time for me to move. Now it's time for me to want more for my life than what I've been used to. Yes, I've beat the worst of it, right? I've beat the worst of the darkness. Now it's time for me to actually step out into the world and create my own light. At the center of the reading, you have 8 of Cups, right? And 8 of Cups talks about making that decision, finding, you see the robe of red, which indicates wisdom. You've learned something, you're wiser than you were, and you've learned how to put up boundaries now. 8 is the number for boundaries. It's also the number for strengths and weaknesses. And I think that if you resonate with this reading, you can understand exactly what I mean about how 8 can represent also your strengths and your weaknesses, and learning those, and boundaries. Because it's once you realize your strengths and your weaknesses, it's based on those that you put certain boundaries into place for yourself so that you can protect yourself, right? So that you can play to your strengths, and so that you're not always succumbing to your weaknesses because of the situations that you've put yourself in, or the individuals that you've allowed to get close. In this case, it's the certain types of people that you've allowed to get close, or that you've been drawn to, and you realize now, you've woken up now, certainly with Hangman energy waking up, that it's all about putting boundaries in place, and that you have a right to put boundaries in place. Another lesson of this card is learning and internalizing that feeling of, well, I have a right to it. I have a right to require a certain standard from people. I have a right to require that there's this, that a person fulfills a certain criteria before I let them in my life. To be a spiritual person and to be sort of to work towards altruism should never be mistaken for opening yourself up to every single person and being naive. I mean, what is, the whole point of, living an altruistic life and a spiritual life is to learn lessons, right? And to become more of the God, to come closer to the Godhead, which is where our souls come from ultimately, right? So in order to do that, in order to learn lessons, you then have to put in place what you've learned. If you simply go into every relationship with this kind of like idea that, it's somehow spiritually moral that you give every single person a chance despite your best intuition, despite your gut, and despite everything you've learned telling you otherwise, then you're fooling yourself, right? And we call that in Kabbalah, we call that just wasting your time on things. You waste your time on an energy that serves you absolutely no purpose at all. You must learn to put boundaries in place. You must learn that it is only by playing to your weaknesses, right? Only by trying to achieve the best good in your life that you can by only bringing in those energies that you work well with, rather than just allowing everyone to bombard you. You must learn these type of lessons in order to go forward, or else you find yourself, if you don't learn these lessons, you find yourself one of these individuals who says, I don't understand why. I've done all the work. I've done all the meditating. I feel like I'm manifesting. I've done all the spiritual work. I've been doing Reiki for years. I've been doing, all of these things for years, but I just don't understand why I keep getting into these relationships. I don't understand why I can't, you know what I mean? There's a disconnect, right? And the disconnect is because you're not truly learning the lessons that you need to be learning. You're certainly not learning how to actually put into action the wisdom that you are, attaining, right? That you say that you're attaining. So I spent a little longer on that because that's your center card, and that is really the most, the center card indicates the biggest lesson in any reading. And so this is what will bring this understanding, right? And adhering to this, and truly believing, right? Adhering, believing, and sending your intention out is what brings in the love down here with this beautiful Ace of Cups, which up until now you haven't really been healthy enough to have. You haven't had room in it in your life for it. You haven't felt emotionally or mentally healthy to have it, maybe even financially, but certainly now you feel like it's coming in. Now, here we go. Here's your second king and the ultimate king, the king of stability, Aries, Emperor, coming in as well. Here's another individual, very strong. Very strong. And this person, I'm interested. I'm wondering who this individual is. This person could be a possible love connection, right? It could be the person coming in for you. But again, I feel, it's almost like, again, I feel here this is yet another strong individual in your life who's playing a part. But the part this person is playing is more watchful. Right, now this could very much be a family member who's been keeping an eye on you. So whereas the King of Wands has been sort of like your counselor, your leader, the one who's put you on solid spiritual footing, I feel like this Emperor, it could be someone in your life who is connected to you, maybe by family or maybe by friends, but they're watching you. See how he's watching you, maybe watching you from a distance. And this one is keeping an eye on you, almost as if, to say, are you, to make sure that you're learning what you're supposed to be learning, that you're getting where you're supposed to be getting, because I almost feel like this person has some responsibility for you, whether it be they control maybe some family money that is yours, or they control something of yours. Could be that they have your children right now. Could be that you have children who you've had to give to a strong relative to take care of while you go through this process, right? Because again, I said to you, I felt very emotional here. This is a very real process, right? I'm not talking about just like life's like little kind of, I'm at a different stage now because I learned a lot. I mean, this was a very hard stage for you. This could have involved, like I said, addictions, could have involved homelessness, could have involved joblessness, certainly involved lack of abundance at some point, because almost always that comes with the territory, right? A lot of pain, a lot of hurt. It was a lot of work for you to come through this. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if some of you actually have children that perhaps part of the hard job was leaving them behind, right? Leaving them with someone that you could trust. And this person is keeping an eye on you to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And one of the things that's interesting, because if you look closely at his eyes, they're almost looking to the side a little, right? They're not looking quite straightforward. Even though the face is straightforward, it has this kind of bearing down, but it's kind of a sideways glance. So he comes out in the reading sideways, and it's like he's watching you go up the hill. This person, he's watching you. It's like, Cancer, is Cancer really going to stop, getting back together with these toxic people? You know, I'm not until I'm satisfied. You know, I want to be satisfied before I allow them, you know, back with the kids or back in the family, or I give them money or whatever it is that this person is responsible for in your life, right? They're watching sideways and they're making sure that the steps you're taking are the right steps. Are you putting the right boundaries in place? Are you setting up the right systems in your life, right? To make sure that you don't go backwards to this world of codependency. And I think you are, and I think you're going to prove it to them, because Ace of Swords, again, here we go, some more clarity on this. Ace of Swords is when information comes in and it's validating, it's victorious, it's vindicating, right? And I think that, you know, once the info trickles back to this individual, you will be vindicated. You know, they're going to find out that you did do everything, that you did sign into the program, that you did do, you know, the job search or whatever it was for you that you needed to do. They're going to find out, and you're going to feel so vindicated, right? And here we go. After all of that, you've got this beautiful array of aces. Oh, I mean, you know, how beautiful is that? It's all new beginnings. It's all a totally new beginning for you. You've done all the work, all of it. For those of you who have children, I wouldn't be surprised if you get your children back. You get back to regular visitation. Love comes in. Passionate love comes in. You feel a passion for life anyway. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Passion can talk about passion just for life. You have a passion for life now. Underneath, you know, underneath, you stay optimistic about your love life. Of course, after all of this, you've put so much work into it, and that's why I feel so emotional for you, because what you're getting is, it's just a whole new lease on life. And then you've got King of Pentacles, your third king coming in, and this is yet another individual who's coming in almost as a benefactor. Who's now, you have had your spiritual teacher, you've had this individual who's very responsible, helped you shoulder some of your responsibilities, right, perhaps, and who's kept an eye on you. And now you have this other individual who's come in, and they're so proud of everything that you've done and accomplished that they're probably going to offer you opportunities now to become more abundant with finances, perhaps to get a job after not having one for quite some time, perhaps to invite you in to work for them, or to give you some kind of opportunity to increase your wealth. You have a lot of support, a lot of people coming in to help you, Cancer. But you deserve it, you know. Take the help, you know. Take the help. You deserve the help. There's nothing, you know, people are so afraid nowadays to take any help or to ask for any help. When you ask people for help, they don't want to give it to you. You know what I mean? It's like, why not? You know, everybody's so busy these days, like trying to prove something, you know. Trying to either prove they can do it all their own, or having, you know, or wanting to prove that, you know, you're up to something because you've asked for help. People are paranoid. You know, when you have people like this, 3 kings in a row in a reading, all benevolent kings who are there to help you in some way or another, accept the help because you deserve the help. They're there, right? Allow them to bestow on you, because that's a gift that you give them. Right? Allowing them to bestow helps them on their spiritual path. You know, so allow them to do that. You know, pay it forward. Pay it forward. One day somebody will come to you and you could be their counselor. You can be their benefactor. Or maybe you can be the one to help them shoulder responsibility. Right? There is no shame in taking help. Certainly if it doesn't, certainly not if it helps you get to the next stage of where you should be in your life after having done such hard work. Show me some clarity on this beautiful reading for Cancer. Show me. All right, Cancers. This is just one of the nicest readings I've had in a while. And I just hope that for those of you it resonates with, it really affirms that you're doing the right thing. 5 of Swords, right? Getting away from pain. Wheel of Fortune, there you go, coming in. Prince of Cups. Princess of Swords, 5 of Wands, strife, the Sun, there you go, beautiful. 4 of Pentacles, Stability in finance. Prince of Wands coming in with passion and temperance at the bottom. Beautiful. The bottom of the deck, you have another swords card. Queen of Swords talks about cutting away the mask. Look how exhausted she is. You see the mask in her hand, the sword in the other hand. The Queen of Swords cuts through all the bullshit because she herself has been through all so much in her life, so many trials and tribulations, that she understands what it takes to be true, what it takes to cut away a false mask and to really have the bravery to be who you truly are, right? And she's in there with her energy as well. And that's always, Queen of Swords energy is always beautiful, beautiful, confident energy to have. So, yes, Five of Swords, you're moving away from discord, moving away from that Five of Swords energy. You've had enough. You're moving on. Six of Swords, right? You no longer you're no longer willing to engage in these petty fights. You know, you're no longer willing to engage in pettiness. Everything that has led to the dependency or to the codependency or issues that you were having was pettiness. It started out with pettiness. It started out with power struggle. 5 is the number for power struggle. Getting involved with individuals who have power issues, who have control issues, and you're not there for it anymore. You realize that and you're moving on. Wheel of Fortune is coming in to clarify that 10 of Swords, because yes, you are at the end and so many beautiful things are coming in. They're legitimate, wonderful opportunities, because it's not the wheel of misfortune, it's the wheel of fortune. And it's a direct result of all of this change that you've done, this absolute death of the old you and the rebirth of the new ego of you, which is so much more evolved. All right? So Prince of Cups covering this King of Wands. Yes, you have a lot of affection for this individual. They've come in like a knight in shining armor. Right? They've come in almost as a savior. This person, this King of Wands, whoever this person is, you do have some affection for them. It could be a love interest, right? But I think that this is more just genuine affection because of all that they've done for you. Your love interest is coming down here with this Ace of Cups. It hasn't quite arrived. It's just basically around the corner. I think here, though, this individual has helped you learn about your feelings, helped you learn understanding and getting deeper into your feelings, because that's what Prince of Cups is all about. That's why he shows no commitment, because he's only just now skimming the surface of his emotions. He doesn't, you know, he's immature in that way. And so, you know, he doesn't mean it bad. If he loves you today, he means it. And then if he leaves tomorrow, he means that as well. There's nothing nefarious. It's just simply that he's not mature enough and he hasn't delved into his own emotions enough yet to know what he truly wants and is willing to fight for, right? But in that way, you know, this person has helped you understand that. This person has helped you understand your own feelings. And in turn, I think you have just the slightest amount of affection for this person, right? Just genuine affection, all right? Princess of Swords here. So standing up for yourself, right? Learning how to have a voice. This is it. This is the final piece of the puzzle. So now you, like I said before, you've broken through the whatever the addiction, the codependency, the toxic energy was that you were dealing with, right? That was keeping your life strangled. I was keeping you in a negative pattern. Now it's time to actually fight kind of for your perch. You see the Princess of Swords, same as the Page of Swords, but in the Thoth deck, we get much more into the attribute of the court cards, because they are all representative of how we see the Godhead in ourselves, right? So their meanings are a lot deeper than just messages coming in. And the Princess of Swords is on the first rung on the ladder of court cards for swords. She's just learning how to defend herself and stand up for herself. It could be Cancer that for so long, right, now that you've kicked this kind of codependency and the worst of the toxicity, now you're learning to find your voice. Not only have you come out of a bad situation, but now you're doing, like I said, you need to do even more, move further. You're ready to come down off of that perch. You've had inspiration, and I think that inspiration is that not only can you have a better life, but you can even actually stand up for yourself more. You may not have been used to standing up for yourself in the past. You may not have felt like you had a voice. But here the Princess of Swords is just learning to have her voice. You see, she's on this perch. She defends herself from whoever comes in, right? She defends herself with her words, with her actions. She's starting to see bravery, and she's starting to have the courage to stand by her convictions and to stand by her opinions, right? And her feelings, and what she says goes for her life, rather than having other people take that power away from her. And so this is what you're starting to learn now, which is the next stage, right? Perhaps the stage you may not have thought you'd get to, right? Five of Wands talks about strife, and yeah, you're moving away from strife in relationships. Again, another power struggle. You know, I think a lot of the toxicity that you've had in past relationships has been with individuals who are control freaks, right? These individuals are extreme control freaks, and a lot of that control is what you're learning how to come out of, right? And it's been very oppressive for you, and so now you're taking back the control by putting in these boundaries. But certainly this constant bickering and strife and trying to be the one in charge is what it's just, you can't take it anymore. It's probably worn you down. It's exhausting. The sun has come out to clarify this this energy with the Emperor, Aries energy with the Emperor. And so yeah, you will be vindicated in the eyes of this person, right? If this is the individual, like I said, if it resonates with you, that you have somebody in your life who's taking some of your responsibility off your shoulders. Perhaps they've been a bit stern with you. At times, perhaps they've acted as though they didn't think you were ever going to get your shit together, you were ever going to get anywhere. But you will give vindication in their eyes with the sun coming in. The sun is all about affirmations, reaffirmations, you know. Everything coming up Cancer, right? Everything's coming up roses, everything's coming up Cancer. And I think this individual is going to be very happily, maybe even happily surprised, but just very relieved and happy, and you will, in their eyes, be vindicated. All right? And with this Ace of Wands, after doing all of that work, you have stability and finances coming in with that Four of Pentacles, power, starting to establish some power, starting to establish some stability, right? Ace of Wands, new relationship. This could mean that you're moving. You may have been doing a lot of work somewhere. Now you're moving to a new location. You may be moving back home. Whatever it is, wherever you're going, it's going to offer some financial stability, stability for setting up a house and a home and those things, right, that cost money. Ace of Cups is coming in with Prince of Wands. So somebody's coming for you, right? This individual is coming towards you with an open heart. They're very ambitious. They're very fiery, right? And they lead with their heart. They're very emotional, very creative. And this Ace of Cups is going to come for you, right? It could be after, if this is a move, whatever this is, if this is a move, or if this is a new kind of like the next stage of your life after coming out of all of this, like, rehabilitation, counseling, or whatever it is that got you kind of out of this toxic situation, right? This time off, almost, I want to say, or whatever this path was, right? Bringing this to a close and coming out to start your next more powerful life. Whatever this is, as a result, I think once you start this next stage of your life, that's when the love will come in. You're going to meet somebody. And this is all happening like right around. So when I do these mid-July readings, I'm talking about things that may have been going on in your life for the last few months, last few years, right? But all of this is taking, you know, this message and some of these energies that I'm talking about are all taking place this mid-July, right? So it could be that you have certain conversations with people. It could be that this information comes in for this person, right? It could be that you are finishing your program in the next few weeks and some of this energy is happening. So it's all kind of around this time, right? That some of these things are going to be closing off, right? And what I say is that as you close this off, and if this has already happened for you, then you're in the next stage, right? Some of you could be in this final stage, right? So there's a progression here with the reading. Some of you are just about to just leave or just finish off this this stage here where I talk about, the work that you've been doing, perhaps if it was rehab or whatever the long path that it was that you were on, this is the closing of the path with the 10. Some of you may just now be closing that path, and so a lot of this is yet to come. Some of you may have already experienced this and it resonates with you and you're at the next stage in the reading. So I just wanted to clarify how that, comes in, because what I want to say here is that this love opportunity comes after all of this other work has been accomplished and this has been started, this new stage in your life. And so, like I said, if this is a move back home, or a completion and a starting of a new job or what have you, it's through all of that that you meet somebody who is very fiery and passionate and who wants to give you a cup of love. And then here we go, we have, this individual temperance coming in. So temperance, having dominion of yourself. It's quite interesting because 4 is the emperor. He has dominion over others, a responsibility for others. Here, temperance, we learn how to have responsibility for ourselves. We learn how to answer to ourselves, right? There's a certain amount of discipline that's involved in this, and wisdom, right? And strength as well. And so with this King of Pentacles coming in, like I said, this person who wants to help you on a financial level, maybe helping you get back into your career if you've had a break, or get back into business, right? I think this is now going to be the next stage of you sort of learning the next level of yourself, the next level of strength in yourself, the ability to temper yourself, the ability to handle multiple responsibilities, right? That up until now, maybe you haven't been challenged to handle so much because you've been dealing with other things in your life. But now it's almost as if, people are giving you responsibilities and it's making you feel even more self-confident. It's making you, it's allowing you to exercise everything you've learned through the practice of temperance. And so you're really getting, like, it feels to you like you're getting real life experience on everything that you've learned so far, right? And putting it in play and reaping the rewards of that. Seeing what life is like when you have control over yourself. Seeing what life is like when you put boundaries up for relationships and only accept certain types of people who have, who have to live up to at least to a certain standard in your life, right? Only certain people who are worthy of your energy into your life, right? What is life like when you have found your voice, right? Experiencing what life is like now that you've found your voice. Experiencing what life is like now that you have the approval of this individual who maybe you never had before, but still they were stuck by you because they do love you, right? So oftentimes when we learn these lessons, it's like now it's time to get out into life and learn what is life like now that I put these lessons into play. And so this is kind of like the final card and final picture of this, and certainly with temperance coming in. All right, so I'm going to call it Cancer. This is a great message for somebody out there who's done a lot of work. If this resonates with you, please like, subscribe, share. Try to get all these in so you can see. Leave me a message below. Comment. Tell me if you go through this situation, right? And if you want to get a private reading, you know what to do, right? Go follow the link at the bottom of your screen. If you're resonating with this, you'd like to go deeper into your personal situation. But for right now, I'm going to call it. This is, I'm proud of you, Cancer. This is a lot of work and beautiful things coming in for you as a result. So for right now, have a wonderful mid-July. I'll see you next month. Bye-bye, Cancer.